tied it up, and these people who went with this truck, when they threw up the dead people, they shoot them, they fell down there too. And this, we knew about it, so nobody wanted to go there. That's why people ran away. And this went on for a while. There they brought dead people from some other places too, which I couldn't tell you which place it was. And from there, when the Russians started to come, then they took me away from there, and I became typhus. I had fever, they took me to Buchenwald.
And I had to report in a town in Romania, which used to be Romania, Nagybánya. And they had all kinds, from all over Hungary and from all over Carpathia, called all the younger, my age group. And as soon as we came there, we were already assigned to different divisions, like. And my division, I don't know, maybe a week later or 10 days later, left to a city in Romania also, which was occupied by Hungary, Kolozsvár. And there we were assigned to work on a farm. So every day we had to go out. They took us by trucks, and they took us to the farm to, it was in summertime, to cut the hay, you know, haying, and to work on the corn fields and vegetable fields. And every day we had that kind of work. It was I remember it was a very hot summer, and we didn't have any hats, and a lot of guys were, you know, they had a lot of problems with sunburns. But we weren't too long there. We were there maybe a month, and then we were transferred from Kolozsvár to Szatmár. That's also a city in Romania, but it was occupied by Hungary. And we were working on, in Szatmár, we were working on construction for a construction company. And every day they picked us up, and we had to go and work on buildings, carrying the bricks or stones or whatever, making cement and that stuff. And we were there, I don't know, probably another month. And from there, we were transferred back to Budapest. Before I escaped, one of the sergeants, Hungarian sergeants, who was a big drunk, and we used to buy him liquor, you know. He used to do us once in a while a little favor. If we wanted some cigarettes, he used to try and get us, or we wanted some extra food, he used to try and get us. For alcohol, we used to give him a bottle of liquor, you know, and he used to do little favors. So I guess he got some kind of a tip-off that our division is going to be shipped to Germany. So I had some friends in Budapest, which I met him secretly, and we had one of the guys, it so happened he comes from Veliki Bocskov, and I knew him very well, and he was the head of the press in Budapest for the underground. He used to put out a paper for the underground, and he used to make all kinds of false papers if somebody was in hiding. So he made me papers that I was a Gentile, coming from Romania and from a town, and he had exactly the same paper they used in that town for birthday certificates. So he gave me that birthday certificate and also like a registration that I was working in one of the factories in Budapest, which was making defense work for the army. And so anytime I was stopped, I could show that I'm working for the defense. In other words, if they stopped young people and they were not working for defense or being in the army, they used to arrest them right away. So I had one of those what do you call it? Certificate with a picture that I work in that defense factory. And I got myself an apartment with another boy who also escaped, and we were living in a Gentile home. We had a room, and we were going out and to places, but we tried to avoid places where it was dangerous, with Nazis or whatever. While I was in Budapest and on the false papers, I had some jobs to do for the underground. So my job used to be to bring the newspapers, deliver the newspapers to the Tito partisans or Russian spies, which were in hiding. And sometimes I had to bring them rationing food stamps, which, they could get food and that stuff. And sometimes it was all made by this guy. His name was Willy. He could copy anything, even make money. He could even make counterfeit money. And he used to give it to a few of us, to try to distribute to these guys. They were very dedicated, very good, for their country. They were very educated. They knew what they were doing, and they were sent on a mission, and whatever they had to do, they did. If they had to undermine a bridge or undermine a railroad track, they did it. Whatever they had to do, whatever they were told from the higher up to do, they did. And sometimes they had to pay with their life. They were caught and interrogated, and some of them broke down, and most of them didn't. Once they were caught, they rather die than tell the Germans the secrets. In October, the king, Horthy, wanted to make a speech to quit the war and to quit being an ally with the Germans. So the Nazi party, at that time there was a guy by the name Szálasi. He ordered his men, his troops, which were all black black dressed with the arrow crosses, and they came in and took over the government from which was a Nazi government, but it wasn't strong. It wasn't as Nazi as this group. These were the real SS. So they took over, and Horthy